All right. Am I live now? To be quite honest with y'all, hey, woo, woo. How are y'all doing today? Okay, so I just did about a 30-minute conversation. I guess with me. I'm attorney Greg Lake. Welcome to the Entheogenic Esquire and Entheo SK. Glad to have y'all here. Look, I apologize. I was actually going at 3:30, but apparently I was trying to stream to both my channels and it wouldn't do it, but I didn't realize it wouldn't do it. So I'm just going to do this one here on Entheogenic Esquire. Hopefully, I can draw some traffic over to the in ENTHEOSK, as you see back here. That's going to be more my personal, and I'll talk about that in a minute. It's going to be more my like personal channel where I just cut up, have fun, do fitness, eating, healthy living in the mountains, and trying to do some good in the world. Right. So that's what that channel is going to be about. I'm still going to be doing my Charlie Kirk stuff over here on the Entheogenic Esquire. I probably won't be going as live, probably cut it back live, not like every day or every other day. So, but maybe 2-3 times a week over there. But I'm going to be going live, doing shorts, like all kinds of stuff on the other page. So if any of that interests you, please go over there and give it a subscribe. Be very much appreciated. But in all things, we're going to seek the light. We're going to be looking for the light, right? Because dude, y'all seen Iran? We're going to be looking for the right, for the light, and we're gonna take God's word and we're gonna make it into reality. Um, and so yeah, so hey y'all, I apologize that y'all been sitting here and I've been talking to myself and Buddy Bear. My buddy Bear back here, we've been talking, man, but that's okay. Hey, I got a warm up, right? Hey, yeah, man. Okay. Well, yeah. So, Attorney Greg Lake, I was born on May 5th, 1986. Okay. So, let me take a step back for a second. For any of y'all who are interested in numerology, I am. I like numerology. I like reading into numbers. Crunch that one. 5/5/1986. Yeah. Anyways, in Marshall, Texas. And so, hey, it's Lizard. It's Entheo, ENTHEOSK. I'm putting it in the chat right now. And so, like, oh, are you Lizard in 1979? Nice, dude. Yeah, man. That's good, dude. Yeah, God bless you, man. I love y'all from everywhere. Like that's why I love you too. I'm an international diplomat, man. I like everybody everywhere. Uh, growing up, my dad was, like this high school most popular football, baseball, track star, all that stuff. Like, and but my dad is one of these people. He just is a people person, and I take that quality too. I've never had a hard time, and this seriously, I've never had a hard time anywhere I've gone to fit in, get stuff done, like network stuff like that. It's always come very, very easily to me. And with that in mind, I'm thinking, well, Greg, like, just do a channel with you doing you, and that's going to draw the people in. And I have faith in it. God bless. This morning, I got up at 6 o'clock before the sun rose and was watching the light peek over the mountaintop. I'm out there with the birds, like dead silent till the sun, and it's time to sing. But man, when that light hit my face today, I felt God's presence, and just gently told me, "So, Greg, the only way you're going to be successful is being you, bro." All right, buddy. All right, I added the bro part. God didn't say bro. I said that to myself, but God did tell me. It's like just be you, man. Be you. Do you. There's so much negativity and bad stuff going on in the world. Like people need to see some light, and I feel full of it. So that's what this channel is going to be, Entheo SK. It's going to be pretty cool, and I hope we were successful. What I want to do with Entheo SK. Once I get some funds together, I'm going to set up like an LLC and a trust, and the money that goes into it will go 50% straight to charity, and I'll probably let the channel members decide like who do we want to donate to by popular vote, and then I'll take the other half, right? So that way I'm taking care of me, that way I can take care of other people. The 50-50, got to get it. So yeah, man. Oh, thank y'all. I'm glad that y'all like the channel. You know, I didn't know. I mean, I'm sure a lot of y'all probably naturally kind of conservative and stuff like that. And I mean, in a way, I am in some ways not. But you know, I just like to be my fun hippy dippy self. Talk some shop. You know, talk some shit, and just see where it goes. Hey, I'm not Steven Crowder. You say Steven Crowder. I think Buddy's been listening to Steven Crowder. He's been real standoffish. I think he might be juicing over there. But anyway, so yeah, so I was born in Marshall, Texas, May 5th, 1986. So, you know, obviously a lot of my story has to do with drugs and alcohol. And this is like middle of the crack era, like prime time downtown Julie Brown, crack era stuff. So it was nuts. It was nuts. But let me show y'all something real quick. Let's see. Oh, Miss Debbie, what you doing, Debbie? Man, it feels so good to be with y'all. It really does. I mean that with all sincerity. Like, it feels really good to be with y'all. I love y'all to death, and y'all been very supportive. So thank you. Let's see. All right, so here we go. So I just want to show y'all something. So I am from here, Marshall. So what you'll see here in Marshall, Texas is that see Interstate 20, which naturally goes East Coast, West Coast. And then this little highway right here, they call Highway 59. That goes all the way down through Houston, all the way south of the border. Yeah, hola. So obviously you can understand that from a traffic standpoint, that's pretty dense location. It was wild. And so I just want to give y'all some of that context for, you know what I mean, to understand what I'm saying. And this is a pretty place. If y'all ever go, man, there's a place called Caddo Lake right here on the state line. On the Texas side, it's mostly just like river channels. It's the largest, I think it's the largest cypress forest in the world. Cypress trees, Spanish moss everywhere. You can see maybe a quarter of an inch under the water. It's muddy brown. But we used to cut up out there and had a good time. You know, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Lizard. Oh, Scout. I used to live in Shreveport, Louisiana for 15. Oh, wow, dude. Yeah. Hey, we did some stuff over in Shreveport. I'll definitely be getting to that. But, dude, I mean, I was, you know, back in, man, probably like 99. I was like 12, 13. We were running guns out there. Well, we were minors, but yeah, we were involved in some pretty thick stuff. But I've been to Shreveport tons. I love Shreveport, done tons of concerts, casino, horse track. There's a place called Herbie K's. Did you ever eat at Herbie K's, Scout? It's like a hole in the wall, but it's got the best fried shrimp in the world. But anyway, so I had a very good, loving home life, right? I had a very good, loving home life. Let me take this off screen. I had a really good, loving home life. And so all of my problems never really came from that. I can fairly say that for real. Like, my parents were real deal. They were good. Just, it was awesome. It was so much love. And yeah. But I don't know what it is. It's just like a natural tick in me, man, that like, flying straight and square has just been a very hard time for me a lot of my life. Now it's very easy. It's that feels natural now, but for a long time it didn't. Okay. And it's not just like using drugs and alcohol, stuff like that. It's like the lifestyle when you're out there on the streets and running with a pack and stuff. You know, it's intense, and it's you know, I guess I'm an adrenaline junkie, maybe, you know, and so I think going on these missions and stuff, you know, adrenaline junkie. But you know, I do remember this, and again, this was from the primetime crack era, y'all. Like, you know, my class was probably the first set of crack babies out there. And, you know, we were fist fighting in third grade, man, almost every day. You know, it was a very violent place from a young age all the way through. It still is. As a matter of fact, I'll tell y'all this. I was in Houston, Texas, maybe year and a half, 2 years ago. I was at a bar just hanging out with the dude I was actually in rehab with, was managing the bar. I was over there talking to him, cutting it up. And I think I had like a florally shirt on or whatever, you know. This is like this rough club, and like here I am, like a white dude with like, you know, flowery polo shirts and stuff. And this dude, this black guy came and sat beside me. He looked at me. He goes, "Man, where are you from, dude?" where are you from? I said, dude, I'm from Marshall, Texas. He said, oh, I knew it. He said, I knew it. He said, y'all about that violence. I said, well, yeah, we used to be. But yeah, it's real rough there, right? You don't, even just in your regular elementary school, like you either stick up for yourself and fight, or you're miserable, right? So it just naturally at an early age. But anyways, come about 11, 12 years old, I was drinking a couple beers. I'll never forget it, y'all. I started drinking on a trip with our congressman at the time. I was friends with the congressman's son. And we were 12. I was 12. He was 13. We went to South Padre Island for their vacation. And it was cool. Back then, at that time, the border towns, this would have been like 97, 98. The border towns were decent, where you could like go. We went and had a nice dinner in Mexico at South Padre Island. But the first night, I like forced myself to drink one beer. I immediately acquired a taste for beer. Now, I'll tell you this. My parents, when I was growing up, they weren't alcoholics. I mean, I'll tell you, my dad's drank 6 beers just about every night for about the past 50 years. And that's pretty much about the extent of it. But anyways, they were always, when I was growing up, they would have like get-togethers at the house. They'd be drinking, playing Trivia Pursuit. I'm a young kid, and I just vividly remember being in my bedroom at like, woken asleep at like 2 in the morning because they're in there laughing, cutting up, having a good time. And it's like, if you're a kid and you wake up and everybody's like having a good time, you're like, it just makes you feel good, And so I think it just resonated with me that like, oh man, this party and hanging out with people because that just looks fun. Let's do that. So yeah, once I started drinking beer, that was about it. Every time I went out to do something, hanging out with friends, like we were drinking all the time. Insert cannabis, insert LSD, crack cocaine, like all of it. By the time I was 13, I'd probably sample more drugs than most of y'all combined. And that was back during too, y'all. You gotta realize that was back in the pain pill days where it was thick and they were cheap, dirt cheap. And so we were on it. Full blast. And when I say I was drinking beer, I wasn't drinking no Miller Lite, bro. We were drinking King Cobra. I used to drink Old English HG 800, like chugging 40s and, just acting out. And, but when I first got into drugs, obviously didn't have a car. Now in Marshall, it's not like a lot of other urban areas. It's like you can have like a real nice, like couple streets, and then the next neighborhood over, it's the bricks. Like you straight up in the bricks. When I say the bricks, I'm talking about the bricks. And so, naturally, if you want to get your smoke on, right, you're going to have to go be a big boy and go up there and go get you something. So, I was 13 years old getting in fist fights with 50-year-old crackheads, going to give me a blunt, like pretty regularly, right? So it's like, now that I'm thinking back, there's like just a lot of very violent encounters I've been part of. And so, through high school, look, here's how my mom was. She wanted me to be a Southern gentleman plaintiff's lawyer. That's what she raised me to be. And so as long as I made good grades and didn't, get arrested, and because at our school, kids were bringing in 4th grade. Okay. Then I think back about like 4th grade, there were kids in my class with pagers, with knives, guns. Like we had to wear clear backpacks. Like it was real out there. Okay. But anyways, I excelled at school. I've always have. It's just something that comes pretty natural to me. I love it. I didn't have to work real hard to make good grades, and then was just cutting up. And got some minor in possession of alcohol during high school, partying and running the streets, stuff like that. But I ended up going to college. I ended up landing at a university. This would have been 2004. I graduated. And then come 2005, I ended up at University of Texas at Tyler, which was kind of close to my hometown. It's kind of nice, especially because I could see my mom. She drive an hour or two each way to like pick up my clothes, wash them, bring them back. Like just, that's kind of mom she was. She's fucking awesome. But we were cutting up in high school, boy, we were cutting up over there in Tyler, because again, I have no problem making connections, making stuff happen, doing stuff. I've just never had that problem. So like, take me to the streets anywhere. And I'm serious. Take me to the streets anywhere and I will go make a friend. It's just the way it is. And I think on this new channel, I might go back to some of these places like the Third Ward in Houston, other places I've been, and see if we can go spread some light out there for some of those youngsters, man. I tell you, I'll just digress for a second. Look, I literally was home, and I'll get to this in a minute, but like I've been homeless on the streets, right? Living in the dope house. And just see how those kids are brought up, man. They don't have a chance. They don't have a chance. It's so sad, man. It's like, I know it's a lot of them. It's not our problem or whatever, but like, I'm for real, man. I really do desire to go brighten up some of those kids' days, for sure. Where was I? So when I got to college, come fall 2006, okay, again, here goes my mom. She goes, you need to apply for this Archer Fellowship. You can go to DC, do a political internship and take 9 hours. And, they select 2 from your campus. And so we want you to apply. So mom helped me put the package together. I applied and got accepted. So fall 2006, I moved to Washington, DC. It was the Archer Fellowship. It was a lot of fun. And I stayed clean up there, right? I stayed clean. I wasn't 21 at the time, working my hours. I worked for John Edwards Political Action Committee, the One America Political Action Committee. I actually worked for his scheduler at the time. And just so y'all know, John, he was cheating on this woman, on his wife who had cancer, beaten cancer, had cancer, like cheating on this lady with this girl that was photographer. And so it was happening while I was there. And come to find out later, and I think that's really what drew me away from politics, to be quite honest with you, is when that happened. I said, all these mofos are rotten, dude. They're rotten to the core. So I think, if I can contribute why I flexed away from politics, it's probably because of that, man. And but I did decide I wanted to go to law school while I was up there. But man, I got clean up there. I put on like 20 pounds, dude. I came back like 165. I was like $120, feeling good. Let me tell y'all. The first night I got back, right back to it, right back in it, man. Like right back in it. And anyway, so we were doing that. And so I finished up college. I graduated 2008 with a political science degree. I applied for law school. I got accepted at Oklahoma City University. Again, my mom helping me through all this, just keeping me supported and all that. And I went to law school my first year. I moved to Oklahoma City. I love Oklahoma City. What up, OKC? I lived in the Regency Tower, which was right next to the Murrow Building. So they had this really beautiful laid out memorial with these lights and stuff. And so off my balcony, I could look to the left and just right there. So, just like a lot of stuff going through that time. Getting high every which way this whole time. You know what I mean? Getting high every which way. But yeah, I made it. I mean, I did well. Your first year of law school is supposed to be your toughest, right? By design. But I excelled. I loved it. Like the minute I started learning law, I love this stuff. And so again, I didn't like excel like top of my class, but I've always been a very high functioning addict, very high functioning, for at least, which is a curse, right? It also is a curse. But I would do enough to get decent grades, and then the rest of the time we was out of there. So after my first year, I actually moved to Vail, Colorado, and worked on a golf course that summer. Me and my 2 friends were like, one of my buddies said, "Hey, dude, I can get us a job on this golf course." I grew up playing golf. I played golf in high school. There'll be some stories from that too. Grew up playing golf, and so he's like, "Hey, let's move this golf course." I got us, me, you, and Bill, some jobs there. And then Bill knew a guy from Oklahoma City that owned a ski lodge up there. So he's like, "Yeah, come bunk up here." So that's what we did. And that was awesome. Now we did some dirt damage up there, but we were like racing bikes downhill. We were doing 50-foot cliff jumps into the river, like natural rock saunas. Like, dude, it was incredible. Oh my God, dude. It was awesome. Yeah, man, we did that. We went good. Everything was okay. And then we moved back and went through that second year. And so here goes the inflection point, man. Oh, dude, hold on. Hold on. Oh, let's just take a breath for a second. Okay. So Did well my second year. I was on my very last. Okay, so like my last final that year, I'll never forget. It was international intellectual property. So it was pretty cool class. I loved it. But we had a take home final, which was supposed to be like a 27-page research paper, which was fine. That's good. I love that. So I was hopping along. I was probably halfway through 12, 15 pages. I've been up working since about 6, 7 in the morning. Got to be about noon. I'm like, dude, time to go to the beer store. So, they're like, oh, yeah, get me this. So I said, all right, I'll be back, y'all. Went up to the store, got some beer, came back. I was like, yeah, let's do it. We're going to finish this paper after I drink a couple beers. And so I went in there, put my beer in there, got one out, cracked it open, didn't even take a sip. My buddy Pat comes up to me, or it was Bill maybe. But anyways, he's like, Greg, let me come talk to you in the laundry room back here. And you know me, I'm the consummate kid. I thought, oh, he's going to try like talk some shit to me for like leaving a sock in the dryer or something like that. And he broke it to me. He said, dude, your dad just called. He said your mother passed away from a heart attack last night. And yeah, man, that was real. That was real. That was hard. And I drank the beer. Honestly, I drank the beer, even though he made me put it down for a second while he like grabbed me and held me and told me, because we were close. We were close. He hugged me. Man. So I made it back home somehow. It was about a 6-hour drive. I don't know. I made it home. On the way, I made like 3 stops to, get what was good. I remember I probably had a bag of about 400 hydrocodones that I bought. And I was just eating them, man. I was out there. It rained on my mom's funeral day. It reminded me of like November Rain from Guns N' Roses. I was jamming that song that day. And I was just sitting there in the rain in my suit, just taking pills. I had a beer in a cup, literally. Like, dude, I was tore up, man. So tore up. And who was going to say something to me, And I knew that, and that's the bad thing about it, y'all, is I knew that. I was being bad, man. I shouldn't have been doing all that in front of those people, but I just didn't know how to manage. I thought I did. I didn't. And I was dating a very wealthy woman in Atlanta at the time. So I was like flying back and forth from Atlanta to school like almost every weekend, partying hard out there in Buckhead. Go, them people out there, dude. Whoa. And so that kind of fell through too. She was wanting me to move to Atlanta. I was wanting to be with my dad, at least for the summer. And so blah, blah, blah. God bless you, Christy Lang. I hope I see you again. Anyway, that fizzled off. So I went back for my 3rd year. Now, the law school had offered me a whole year, right, to get my head right. Shut up, buddy. Get my head right. And so I didn't take it. Who would do that? It's just not in my blood, man. It's just not in my blood to give up. It's not in my blood to call quits, even though I probably should have done it, right? It just wasn't in me. So I went back and I did fine my 3rd year. We had a lot of fun. We were doing things, blah, blah, taking trips, going down to a ranch outside of Houston, like, doing the thing, man. We're having a good time. Graduated law school 2011. And, I had intended, in law school, I really liked securities and corporations law for some reason, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I was really, to be honest with you, my mind was kind of like moving to Dallas or something like that, a big city in Texas, taking the bar and doing that. And then, being closer to Dad, but not there. But my sister convinced me to go move in with him, move to Marshall and help him. And in a way, it was the right thing to do, right? But, I mean, as you could imagine, here I am. I done finished law school, man. I took the bar. I passed it. You couldn't, look, y'all. You couldn't tell me nothing. And I excelled. I've always excelled as a lawyer getting clients. I just naturally attract them somehow. And so, yeah, I was doing good. You get a 6-figure check, I don't know, 3 months, 4 months. And like, where does the madness end? And so, grinded through it. I'd bought a house out at Caddo River. I was living in this real remote lake spot. And like, man, But dude, it just got worse and worse and worse, y'all. It got worse, and in and out of jail, rehab, until the last time I went to jail, I had to do about 90 days in county. Oh man! But anyways, what happened is we got in touch with the bar. I surrendered my law license for a time while I did that. That's kind of just getting I had to come clean. So give them a law license. I went to an inpatient treatment facility called Synacor, which is a therapeutic community, meaning that there's tons of strict rules, like a very strict work schedule, and you basically work these jobs like in a power plant building scaffolds just to pay for your treatment, so that way you can live and eat there, but you're working 15-hour days at least, up at 4 or 5 every morning. Go. Room has to be tight, shirt tucked in. Like, what? Don't say that. You can't say that. Like, it was intense. Like, I think it's like a 1 in 100 people would make it through there. And the people who went to Synacor, which, by the way, they were sued for basically being a work camp, and they got shut down after I left. I didn't join on that lawsuit. I got a lot from Synacor. And so, yeah, dude, I was grinding through there. I started working out, made great friends. Like some street people, man, like, whoa. But it was good, and I did really good. I stayed sober for about 3 years. Towards the latter part of that program, there's this thing called reentry. So it's like you move to a different wing of the facility. You can have a car, you can come and go, but with strict regulations. But you can go to work, go get you some groceries, do what you want. More so than the first phase people out there. And so I was actually working, washing dishes at a bakery. It's called Ambrosia. Really good bakery there in Baton Rouge if you ever go, Ambrosia. But I was washing dishes, and y'all, I've had my pride cut down to nil. I mean, about every 5 years it tends to happen. So me, and that was one of the things about Synacor that I really valued about it was humility. It helps a lot. It really does. So me washing dishes as a lawyer, like, I knew something was going to shake for me because I could feel it. At that time, I started really digging into spirituality, and I was having some pretty powerful experiences at night, just feeling so blessed, dude. I had myself, and I was like, man, like I do now. I'm like, dude, I feel so blessed. But I just knew something was going to happen. I just knew it. I applied for some jobs, but my sister ended up, thank God for her, she got me connected with a very prestigious maritime personal injury law firm. So right as I'm moving out and graduating, I start working there now, which was a good job. But, I didn't have a lot of money saved up. So I had to get a very cheap apartment in the ghetto near LSU. Now, again, I'm from the streets. I've been in it. Like, that does not scare me in the physical sense. It scares me in the spiritual sense, and I knew it. And so when I moved in, and my windows like facing Perkins Avenue, or I think, or Dalrymple or something. But I mean, it was all times night. Fighting, shooting, stabbing, people beating girls up out there, like almost every night, man. It was insane. And I had reached like a crux. I had been traveling a lot just to get out of there during the weekends. My boss had a badass boat. But man, my boss had this badass boat, and it had 2 V8 motors in it. And we would take it from his river house in Louisiana all the way across the Gulf to the casino in Biloxi, Mississippi, and stay. So we did stuff like that too. My boss was great to me, man. We had a good time. And I stayed pretty straight. Yeah, man. I started taking kratom when I came out of the facility, partly because of, the environment I was in. I was like, kratom does me pretty good. And it did the job. It kept me off all the other stuff, for sure. Thank God. But spiritually, I was yearning for more, very much. I was just feeling the light, and I was like, man. And, after my mom had died, I've taken psychedelics my life pretty much, but after my mom died, I had a few experiences with sacred mushrooms out at the lake that really hinted to me personally, like, this feels like something I can lean into and maybe get a little help with what's going on inside of me. these just epiphanies, and just, man, it was incredible. So I started thinking, I was like, well, maybe that might help me a little bit. So, I worked my magic, did my thing. And then I started doing a regular kind of communal practice with it. And man, it opened up the astral realms. And I was like, woo, I flying with archangels and stuff. Like, it was awesome. It just filled me with love. It just filled me with love. And I could just sit there, y'all, and just knowing how terrible it was around me and like what was at stake. Like, I would just cry in the beauty and the contrast of it, of like, here I am basically filled with the Holy Ghost, feeling like, but like out there, it's like primetime murder capital, and, but I would just cry. It was so beautiful. It's like, for me, I started to realize that like there's also a shadow side of God, and it's the universe seeks balance. And so I started to feel that, and it started to balance inside of me. Nobody, no, you took that there. I didn't. No, dude, chill out, bro. And so, yeah, so it really helped, but it really opened my eyes, and I started looking at the psychedelic research that had been done back way. It really started like 1999 in the modern era with like Rick Strassman wrote the book DMT, a Spirit Molecule. I don't want to miss that one. And then that opened up the way for them to do these cancer smoking at NYU, trials psilocybin, and there were other studies too. And so I started digging into those. Around the same time, I figured out, hey, I can self-publish a book on Amazon. So I wrote a book about the research. My first book, Psychedelics and Mental Health Series, Psilocybin, on Amazon. That would have been 2019, I think, 2020, probably 2020. And then that just opened a bunch of doors. I started getting on Facebook, meeting people, stuff like that. Then I started traveling to go commune with other people across the way, and digging into the legal research too. And figured out that, in 2006, the U.S. Supreme Court, in Gonzalez opinion, basically okayed people using ayahuasca here in the U.S. And so, just open up floodgates, and there's a mass run. And, so what I started doing was doing basically nonprofit consulting, helping people construct churches legally, which I still do today. Always about safety. All right. Always about the sanctity of the individual too. And I was successful. I started making more money 5 to 8 p.m. doing consults, jobs, stuff like that than I did at my regular job. And again, I'm going to unpack a lot more deeper. I'm just doing kind of a surface level grab today. But so yeah, I was doing that. I was working 2 jobs essentially full time and working out. Dude, I was in it. Doing good. I took the Louisiana bar. I passed the Louisiana bar. I've let it lapse since, but yeah, I had 2 law licenses at that time. Just so y'all know, I hadn't practiced law in 3 years. Okay. And like 4 or 5 weeks before I'm supposed to move out of this facility, my friend from Houston, who's a criminal trial lawyer, called me and he's like, look, dude, where you been? I'm like, dude, I'm in rehab. We were laughing, cutting up. And anyways, he had a jury trial, federal criminal jury trial in Tyler, where I went to college, in my neck of the woods up there. And he's like, man, do you think they let you out to come like do this with me at this jury trial? And I was like, yeah, dude, I think so. So I made it happen. I had to ride a Greyhound bus from Baton Rouge to Tyler. My dad helped me a little bit too. But anyways, showed up with you. And the trial we won, right? We won. I got to do some closing remarks and we won. We got a not guilty verdict. So, and just so y'all know, my license had been on lapse. I actually, like 10 minutes before court started that morning, I was down the law library on the phone with State Bar, and they faxed over my, reinstatement like 10 minutes before it started. So this is all divine timing, right? We tore them up, man. Yeah, I know he did, buddy. He did. My buddy Hugh did kind of bad at that one, but we won. So yeah, I was feeling good. I was like, dude, I know good things were about to happen. So anyways, went back working my job. And, after that win, I was full of it then, man. When I was washing dishes, I was cutting up with all of them, but I kept sensing something good's going to happen. Something's going to shake for me, So I was applying to jobs in the law firm, stuff like that. And my sister actually hooked me up with a maritime personal injury law firm there in Baton Rouge, which I loved it. I loved it. Man, after all those 3 years of those work environments, to like get back into a nice air conditioned office with like some pretty girls, some cool people, it was amazing. It was a really good environment for me. I excelled there and brought in a bunch of clients. Just so had it, a lot of the people I was in Synacor with ended up working on the water. And guess what? They knew people got hurt. So they sent me cases, man. We made some bread. And I loved it. I loved it. My boss was awesome. I loved it. I still love him. And but my spiritual shift, right, communing with my entheogens, I was steadily internally just shifting away from being in such a dense headspace all the time. Let me just say that. And one of the key pivot points, y'all, was I got invited randomly through my books and stuff to attend a 5-MeO-DMT Bufo ceremony in Texas. So I drove over there from Baton Rouge, went there, and whoa! So I was able to commune with 5-MeO-DMT. It was the most powerful experience of my life. Like you're 5 minutes on the ground, but let me tell you, you ain't there on the ground. You're on the ground. You're on the ground. You ain't there on the ground. All I can describe it as is just filled with infinite love and intelligence. God, like basically, I felt like I was back in my mother's womb for about 5 minutes, and man, was that healing. And all this time I'm watching other people, like really broken veterans and people who've been bad SA'd, doing this, and like as soon as they come out of it, it's like, oh my God, like, oh, it's the light, I love you, and so you're around a group of people who accept you for who you are. Everyone's trying to eat right, do right, and be good, and that was a very good place for me at the time. And so moving through those circuits, I ended up researching the law, getting into it. I wrote 2 more books called The Law of Entheogenic Churches, Volume 1, Volume 2. The second volume is a 325 page, I guess you could say, dissertation on defining religion under the law in terms of, ancient and modern use of psychedelics. And we're going to get in those topics on EntheoSK. We're going to be talking about the origins of religion, stuff like that, because I went all the way in, right? I don't do nothing half-assed. I go all the way in. So Win the Bomb, wrote a 325-page book just on my own accord, not expect to make money or nothing, but obviously that opened up whole tons of opportunities. I've helped form over 130 different churches, a lot of them dealing with veterans and people who have very, very bad issues, and just was meeting a lot of very wealthy, successful, good people, and working with them. Like these people also had worked with the entheogens, and are like, we want to bring this to our community. So that's what I did. I help people do that. I still do. It was successful. I was making more money from 5 to 8 p.m. Than I was making, during the day, which was great. And I was doing some crypto trading. I was being successful doing some crypto trading. I used to have the trading view up on my screen every day. Dude, I was kidding it, like Bitcoin and Ethereum, bam, 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 doing trades. And I was dating a girl, and she's a Russian model, but she lived in Bulgaria. So we decided to meet up in Serbia. So we went to Serbia. It was beautiful. I loved it. That was the first time I've ever been truly out of the country, other than the border towns, back when we was getting it in. But dude, it's awesome. Loved it. I paid with that through crypto trading, right? It's cool, huh? Yeah. And anyway, so yes, I did that, came back. Again, I got my Louisiana bar license. I was practicing law at the maritime firm for a while, but I ended up meeting my wife in Florida through a mutual friend. It's like, hey, I'm dating this girl. She's got a friend. You need to come fly out here and meet us this weekend. So I did. And, it's pretty much love at first sight. When you get spiritually, near someone that, that I knew it, I was like, okay, here we go. So anyways, once we got together, we were kind of going back and forth, seeing each other, for she was in Tampa. But we ended up making a decision. Me and the maritime firm parted ways. I was going to do my own business and I move out there with her. So that's what happened. And when I got to Tampa, I was doing good, man. I was really getting it in on the weights. Let me show y'all real quick what I looked like, because I was working out, right? I was working out when I was, basically when I went down in 2015, I started working out in jail. We were lifting, in the jail, we were lifting clear trash bags, doing curls with it and stuff. So, I was like, yeah, dude, we're going to work out. And so let me see. Oh, I'm going to show y'all. So here's a picture of me. This would have been like right as I was getting out of Centacor, going, working for the law firm. So I was working out pretty good, really having a lot of fun, doing it right, watching your intakes and structured meal plans, all that stuff. So it was good. It was fun. I loved it. But I just want to show y'all that. So I do like working out. That'll be part of my new channel too. And anyway, so I went to Florida, and like there's some really cool gyms in Florida, like really old school machines and stuff. It's a bodybuilder's paradise. So we're doing good, making money. We were going to shows, and not only that, like my network, my business had tons more contacts in Florida and Louisiana. So I knew that moving out there would make it easy to be successful out there, and I did really well. But through this whole time, when you're sitting there volunteering, doing legal work, whatever it is, and you see people having these turnarounds at these ceremonies and stuff, it was intoxicating to me. I learned real quick, I said this to myself early on, making a buck, I'll never make the feeling you get when you're helping some people like that, like cancer patient stuff, like, it is worth way more money. I'll never make enough money to satisfy that again. And I hope I can do it the way I like to do it. Right. And, and I'm not going to go into a lot of stuff here. Some of it's actually tied up in litigation, stuff like that. But we had our own religious organization. We were helping a lot of cancer patients, a lot of veterans. We had Sunday services, groups, we had events. And then it got taken from us by some profiteers on Wall Street, essentially, and in Nebraska. But again, we'll touch on that at a later date once it all comes out in the shake. And going from that to not having that was almost too much for me to bear. I mean, I started having very violent seizures not shortly thereafter. It was that traumatic. So for about a year or so after that, I was having seizures, like have to call the ambulance and stuff. Seizures. It's so scary. And I just started going kind of downhill a little bit, in and out of addiction, just like not where I was, right? Not where I was. And so it just kind of eroded a bit from there, man. And I kept trying to get it back going full tilt and stuff. And it was just, we were struggling a little bit. But it's always been consistent. I'm able to maintain and do okay. But, just never really guided or directed enough to really go. But anyways, I would speak at conferences. I would teach continuing legal education courses out on the West Coast in Oregon, California, Washington State to the lawyers that want to learn to build these churches. So it was fun. I got to meet a lot of experts and academics, which I use in litigation now. And so what did happen, which did give me some light, was that then I started doing pro bono work, legal defense work, on behalf of some of my people in my community who had been, messed with by law enforcement. And so that did revive a lot of that sense of doing something good, not for a buck. But it never, I was right on this crux, y'all, whenever everything got taken from me there. I was on a crux where I was about to literally just quit practicing law and devote my life to helping these people, man. So, I was hoping to not have to litigate because, to be, and I think that's where a lot of my trouble comes from too, is that, after having the 5-MeO DMT, which is pure bliss and love, anything other than that just feels rough, man. I don't know, like bullshit arguing back and forth, all that. It's rough on me, man. My thing is this: I'm a grown adult. You don't have to raise your voice to talk to me. And when you're in litigation, it's intense. And so I think a lot of that friction there really was going on inside of me. I was serving people. That was good. But the cost of having to deal with some of these people and the government, oh man, y'all wouldn't believe it. So anyways, yeah, what was I saying? Where'd I go with that? Oh no, where'd I go? Shut up, buddy. No, you smoke too much. So anyway, so I did some good. We've helping some people. I mean, I still do that today. So we got some pro bono work going. and just kind of been fizzling a little bit, man, up until a few days ago. And obviously, I was told you I was using Kratom. Um, so I stopped Kratom about a week ago. I'm not gonna say about 3 or 4 days ago, and let me tell you, I'm perfectly clean. Like, and through that process, right, I emptied out all my bowels, all that stuff. So I just like completely re-chugged my system. And when I woke up, woo, I said, yes, let's do this. Like, I feel it again. So like, even though now I'm just starting off, I don't have a like huge nonprofit thing, and I'll talk about that in a second. I think for my new channel, one of the main kind of income and kind of crux points is going to be like a nonprofit combine type idea where I do some courses, some live streams, discussions, helping engage with people who are interested in possibly starting a charity, doing charitable work. And I'm going to use TPUSA. You said that, buddy. TPUSA. I'm going to, use them. I thought about this today. I'm going to use TPUSA through my coursework. Is like, yeah, you don't do this. You don't do that. Don't do that. So it might be fun for some of y'all. But I think that'd be a great way to like get back engaged, doing stuff hardcore, and meeting people who are like-minded and wanting to come together and help others. That sounds good to me. I think on this new channel, once I get some extra funds in, I'm going to set up a LLC and a trust. And what we'll do is all the money that comes in every month, 50% will go to me through a trustee. And then 50% will go to a charity. And what we'll do is we'll vote on it in the members, the members will vote on it. And whatever wins, we'll go give the money to them, as soon as it comes in. So I think that's where I'm going to go with it. But this new channel in Theo SK, it's going to be a lot of me cutting up. I mean, I'm doing like little comedy skits with Buddy Bear, dancing to music. I've been working out, taking pictures of my meals, nature, talk about life, philosophy, politics, law, all that stuff. Just kind of let the conversation flow as it goes. And I'm very excited about it. I'm still going to be doing Entheogenic Esquire. What I'll probably do is just do purely Charlie Kirk content on Entheogenic Esquire for a while. I won't obviously be going as live as quite as often as I did. I'll still be working with Adam. And I have. Maybe Adam comes over to my channel too sometimes for a visit. So, I'm not going anywhere on Charlie Kirk thing. I just wanted to bust out and be more broadened in my horizon, have like a personal vlog, right? And just artistically, like I say, like do little comedy skits, maybe bust a little rhyme here and there. I make music. Okay, so that's going to be another part. I'm about to get back into music production. Play guitar since I was 7, get pretty good at it. I've got a MIDI kit, all that stuff. So I'm going to start setting it up, making beats. I might be doing episodes, ladies and gentlemen, where I literally start out with a freestyle every time. Y'all going to stick around for that, buddy. Now, buddy, you lame, buddy. You ain't going to want to miss it. You ain't going to want to miss it for sure. Yeah. But let me just take a second to answer some comments real quick. And thank y'all, everybody who's here. God bless each and every one of y'all, man. I love y'all. And it's going to be good. Like, dude, there's a lot of darkness in this world, y'all. And all I can tell you is that when the times like that, where stuff's crazy, like you got to really trust and that's one thing we're going to explore too on in Theo SK is the notion between like a direct religious experience or secondary religious phenomena like text. Like, what is that? How does it affect you? Because what I want people to start learning is how you can feel into the light with your intuition and your emotional body and feel into things that are going to be good and serve you. I'm learning it too, right? I'm learning it too. So we're going to learn a lot about that together too. And it doesn't matter which religion persuasion you are. It's we all serve one mighty God, right? So we're going to do a lot of that there and just keep it upbeat and positive. We're not going to let any haters or detractors come and flex on us. Buddy, they did on you. But they ain't on me, right? They ain't on me. Dude, this joker here, swear to God, I was at breakfast this morning and I'm like, okay, I'm about to shine. You know what I got? I have my Jaguar claw, got my molecule. I didn't have my chain. I said, what happened, man? Look at this joker here, bro. Look at this joker. He had it on him. I said, oh, buddy, down bad. He clipped me. Now I'm going to walk in here looking like a chum. But anyways, we're good. We made up when we got back. So anyways, we're going to go off on tangent. Hello, Debbie. Lizard, I'd given you a huge shout out on my solo session there. I am feeling better, Lisette. Thank you very much, and God bless you. I love you. Um, Good to see you, Debbie. How you doing? Yay! I love y'all. Rick, how you doing, man? How's Australia, dude? Hi, all coffee time back in 20 minutes. I guess you're back now. Golden Cat, how you doing? What up? Again, Mr. Lizard, how you doing? Um, Man, yeah, with just this war and everything, I was like, wow. Hey, Scout, how you doing, man? Much love, brother. Let's see. Scott, glad you're here. Let's set big changes. Mental health nursing for 15 years. Okay, see y'all talking. Basic Niche, how you doing? He said, we're hosting a Japanese carpentry and Japanese plaster workshop. Oh, that sounds awesome. That's just cool, man. I saw something like that the other day. Like this guy, like a short where this dude's like making stuff. Like, whoa, that's infinitely complex for my small brain here. Let's see. Let's see. So I wanted to tell y'all one thing though too. A lot of my trauma comes from an incident. I'm not going to say when, where. I was taken at a drug house against my will, and I was beaten with a fireplace poker on the right side of my head to the point where I almost died. I lost vision and sight almost, and had to violently struggle my way out of it, barely by my life. And I'll do some more talking about that, right? But woo, that right there really took a lot out of me at the time. So I just wanted to give that little wrinkle in it too, just so y'all know. Let's see. Yeah, here goes Lizard. 1.17K followers. Wow. Yeah. I mean, and that's another thing too. I was like, man, I really like the YouTube stuff. I do. I'd like to make a living doing this, to be quite honest with you. It's fun. I'm a people person. My dad is a people person. Like he's one of those people that like, if someone came to tell me, your dad's an asshole or something, I know it ain't got nothing to do with my dad. It got to do with them. He's just that kind of person. So I kind of grew up with that. But then my mom is more like real sharp, and people were actually, even though she was a small woman, people were kind of afraid of her because she would just speak what was on her mind, like just anytime. And so people who had stuff that they were like, skittish about, they wouldn't go around my mom. But so I kind of got that dynamic in me, but I definitely have, I've been told when I was at the Archer Fellowship in 2006, our communications professor, Dr. John Daly, who's a pretty famous communications dude, he told the class one day, he's like, Mr. Lake, you are a code switcher. I'm like, what are you talking about, code switcher? He's like, you change your manner of communication, inflection, and all that, like sometimes subtly, sometimes major, but like depending on the situation, in a way your normal average person cannot do. And it's just because, growing up, I was like, when I was a kid, it was like I'd be at the golf course during the day with all the rich people and stuff, and then at night we would go back on the street, right? So I was living in those two worlds pretty much my entire life. Okay. So all that contrast, I soaked it up. And so I can go to a lot of places other people can't and like get along and do good, or maybe not do good necessarily, but I can definitely get around. Right. So I just wanted to bring that up with y'all. Let's see. Man. Anyway, hold on. Let's see what's. I just saw one. There goes. Lizard says, Greg, I feel a real change in your energy in a good way. Am I right in thinking you want to focus on your new channel and let the other channel rest? So that's a good segue. Thank you, Lizard, for that comment. No, I mean, here's what I intend to do, man. Because I love y'all so much and I want to make sure that y'all have a place with me. I'm going to be doing all my Charlie Kirk stuff. Now, I won't be doing quite as much, okay? And maybe the production quality will get better. Hey, that might be a concept, huh? But I'm going to be doing all my Charlie Kirk stuff on the Entheogenic Esquire. And again, just cutting up, doing my thing over there on Entheo SK with some really good, deep conversations. We'll get some guests. I'm probably going to go do some traveling to some old spots and interviewing people. Just trying to do what we can to help brighten up the world over there. And, also, I think I told you all this before. Through my study of religion and esoteric, all that kind of stuff, like I realized like there's dark magicians and shamans and spirits out here, man, for real, for real. You can see it now. And when and they're master of deception, right? Master of deception. They create a false illusion of reality. And so when I saw the Charlie Kirk thing, I said, bro, they have come out full force, full force. These people right here are trying to take over the goddamn world. And so it really motivated me to start that channel. I said, man, I need to get out here and help people make sense. I need to make sense of this case. I need to help other people make sense of this case. So that's exactly what I did. And so, yeah, so that's why I started the channel. I'd started watching Barron, stuff like that. We had just moved up here to North Carolina. And so I kind of fit a good time where I had some time to myself to surf the tube. But yeah, I'm going to do it. I just for while we're at it, I have a starred comment. Oh, Lizard. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. Hell yeah, dude. We're going to keep it going. But now I did the wrong there. Okay. So, buddy. I went to go look to see if I could find the test, the report, the ATF report. They have not published it in the record yet, and they might publish a redacted version. I think the court gave them to like March 30th to submit a redacted version, or else they'll just publish it. So we'll see. That's kind of my next big kind of thing to do and so I think what I'm going to do is do more specialty stuff. So like, for instance, with this ATF thing, if I can go get the report, I might try to go find like a other ballistics expert or somebody who'd be willing to come and talk to me about it, right? And do like a live stream like that as far as like what those results mean. But we'll still be doing some updates. I haven't really been keeping track of the whole thing, to be quite honest, over the last few days, other than watching Barron, stuff like that. Court-wise, nothing's really happened. But I'm still going to be covering it. Yeah, absolutely. And if y'all have certain things, so I still owe y'all. So like this week, one thing I'll promise you I'll get out is my live stream about how Charlie Kirk's or how Tyler Robinson's attorneys were appointed. There's some questions there. There are some questions there, if you ask me. So we'll be, going through that. I'm going to try to put together a real tight presentation and discussion and see what we think about that. Like everything else in this case, it's not real clear. Like it's not real clear. And by outward appearances, we're all thinking there's some rotten stuff going on. So I think, we'll take a look, see what you think. But I've got the research and stuff. I just need to like throw it together, work with my GPT to do like an outline, and we'll do it this week. I have a free webinar on the Fourth Amendment that I'm giving tomorrow. If y'all want to come, I got to give you a link to the sign up sheet. It's going to be free, 12 to 2 p.m. EST. I have a conference call with the federal court tomorrow. So tomorrow's probably not going to be a day I'm going to be doing much, but we'll get up Tuesday, get some stuff done. We're definitely going to get into it. Let me think. Yeah. So, again, I just wanted to share a little bit of my life story, and I'm going to be filling in a lot on my other channel with this and having some conversations. As I've said, it's just like the state of the world these days, y'all. It's like, what? Like, man, it got bad. I had been so inwardly drawn for so long outside of politics, culture, all that stuff. I was just in my own space. And, man, when I lifted my head back up, the Charlie Kirk incident happened, and I said, whoa. So, we're gonna be exploring it because, I do feel I can do some public service in talking about these things, bringing it to light, right? Dark to light, bringing the dark to light. And so we're doing that. And, as always, God bless Adam Thomas, Barron, all Candace, all these people, like they're doing good work. But just for me and like my channel wise, I need a bit more of a broader palette of expression to be good and fulfilled, I guess. And so, yeah, so that's why the new channel, essentially. I'll probably try to get with Adam today. Maybe Adam and I do a stream, maybe later today. or maybe even tomorrow. Once I get done here, I'm going to go eat a little bit. Gotta go eat. And I'm gonna try to get with Adam. We'll come on, and maybe I do a live stream with Adam tomorrow night, just depending on how the presentations and my meeting and my conference call go with the court. We're gearing up for trial. Yeah, we got a trial in May. May trial, federal court. So I'm doing my expert thing now, getting us some experts involved again, and getting prepared for that. So, I feel very confident about it. So should just be moving towards that. A lot of the stuff that I got going on, current litigation stuff, hopefully if y'all are with me over time, it'll finish up, stuff like that. And I can do a bit more discussing about it because some interesting stuff, man. I'm for real. I think y'all find it pretty interesting what's been going on. I hate the stuff that ends up in litigation, but it just did. I'm not going to let nobody just run over me, So, anyways, I'm trying to think, man. Anything else I want to say? I don't know, buddy. Shut up, dude. I don't want to say that, man. You stunned, buddy. Let's see. Rick. Oh, sad. I lost my mom at a young age. Yeah, dude. Thank you, Lizard. Thank you, Lisette. Thank you, Heather B. Yeah, man. Oh, being vulnerable. Like I said, y'all, I've had my pride completely stripped down bare, I don't know, 10, 15 times in my life. Like, what's that? No, I don't care if I'm vulnerable. I'm a human being. You know what I mean? Hey, guess what? I'm human. I do some emotions. I mean, some better than others. This morning, I was sitting here just crying in joy how beautiful the mountain sunrise is, just singing hallelujah. Woo! Base church, base camp. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do an episode on my new channel about music festivals. So y'all are gonna want to miss that. Yeah, I gotta tell y'all about them things. Anyways, let me look at some comments here. Basic niche, eating a 1/4 gram mushrooms each morning can have an impact coupled with detoxing. Oh yeah, absolutely. No, these I firmly believe that God put these things here for us to use and to commune and be good with. For me, nature is the mother spirit, and it's one that nurtures us and takes care of us while we're here in this dense thing, and so working with the entheogens really puts you also in touch with that nature and that very motherly spirit, which I need. So yeah, absolutely. Again, not recommend anybody do anything, right? But just saying that there is a lot of research and stuff that says they can help you. For any of those that are interested, people think different ways about it. That's fine. I don't, the thing is, it's like people can shit on my religion all they want. I don't really care. It's meaningful to me. That's all I can say. The closest I felt to God is this way, and that's why I go there, right? So just so it's known. But again, I have Christian beliefs. Christ being a figure is within my cosmology, all that stuff. Okay. So, but it's not like, I'm not like a Baptist. Okay. And I'm really interested in like ancient Egypt and all that kind of stuff. Like, so, I'll probably touch on some of that esoteric type stuff too. We'll probably bring up the Bible and we're going to talk because I'm going to be talking about a lot of my experiences on the streets, and a lot of my experiences on the streets are really related to the Bible because, in the streets, that's pretty much the dominant religion. And so, you're learning about, you listen to rap lyrics, stuff like that, like, and no Bible verses and stuff. So we'll be wrapping a lot of that up in there too, on the new channel. Let's see. Oh, Lizard says that picture didn't even look like me, huh? That was me, man. Yeah, I had short hair. Yeah, I was, we were having fun back then. It was a good, clean fun too. I love working out, man. I get fit you Hafe fit. Radio retaliation. I love it. I love it. I've been doing these stretches where I grab the weights and like hold it. I stand up real tall and hold it back here like this and let it tense my back and my core up. And I can feel my cerebral spinal fluid like moving, like pulsating through my body, and it feels incredible. So I'm going to keep doing that every morning. Just first things first, man. Yeah. Dog and cat parent. A regular watching Matt's show. Hello, and learned about you when you did your collab with him. Black Line Brief. I like your reviews about Charlie. Oh yeah. So again, and now that y'all know my life story, I can now tell y'all how I resonate with Charlie Kirk. Is that I sense that Charlie Kirk was so committed that really at the end of the day, what drove him is influencing the people, the college kids, And of course, he thought he was doing a good job. He did a good job, right? He did good work. But like he literally rode that to the death, what we call in the streets, ride or die. He was ride or die for that cause. And so I really jive with that, right? And that is really what motivated me to get another thing that really motivated me to get up here and do this and work on his case and really ultimately seek justice for him. Right. I think that's really what we all want is justice for Charlie. And I get there's other people that think he's blah, 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 but you know what I'm saying, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go down that road. Yeah. Hey, Brett Booth, thank you for that email. Man, I read Brett's email the other day. I'd been out for a couple of days detox and I'm like, so and so said this, going back and forth. Things are getting crazy on these theories, and I'm like, whoa, dude. Because I've like come back into the light a bit. And thank you, Boomer Balls. Thank you, I appreciate it. Oh, let me tell y'all real quick, just before I segue out. So Thursday night was an experience, but I woke up Friday feeling good, dude. I felt good, man. For the first time, I said, man, I told myself, like, Greg, when you get back comfortable in your body, like naturally, that's you, dude. That's you. And so when I woke up Friday, and I just knew it, like my spirit knew it. I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I'm back. I was able to get up, like make coffee. I was like, oh man, I love it. But anyways, I went and got an IV infusion. Awesome people up there. Dude, the IV infusion had me tweaked. I got a B12 shot too. And then got a haircut. And here's another thing. So while I'm getting a haircut, the lady breaks down to me, cause I'm cutting it up with her. She goes, I actually help save fentanyl addicts, volunteer in my spare time. I said, I knew it. And she's so sweet and nice. I said, look, give me a week or two. I'm going to be right there with you. We're going to go do this. So I'm going to go help her save a lot of fentanyl addicts around here. I got to go give back. That's one thing. You got to go give back. And for me, it has to be in a real direct way. Obviously, through my long road to recovery, I was both a mentor and mentee for people. So it's a dynamic that feels good to me. And hey, it's been times where I've been a person's mentor, and then next thing you know, they're my mentor. So, that happens too, but it ain't going to happen this time, though. If God be willing. It won't. Absolutely not. I don't desire any of that no more. Done. So yeah. That was a good thing. So I got to sign up for some charity work. Oh, thank you, Debbie. I appreciate it. So yeah, so I got to sign up. I offer to do some charity work, which I will go make good on. And hey, that's again in my channel. I'll probably film some of it, so interview the lady, stuff like that, and post it there. And y'all can see, oh, hey, we're going out here helping addicts. So that's what we're going to do. Anyways. All right. Here we go. Robert Wells. Hi, Greg. We was right from the beginning. How about that, buddy? No, Robert said that, buddy, not you. Hi, Greg. We was right from the beginning of the Charlie Kirk case. Ergo TPS are involved in the let me tell you something. I have no reason to disagree with that statement. I have no evidence to make me disagree with that statement, at least sharply, Yeah, isn't it crazy? Let me know in the chat, how many of y'all like sensed it from the start? That's a good question for the chat. How many of y'all sensed it from the start? That there was insiders, people riding around Charlie that were involved. I'm going to cycle down and see what y'all say. Yeah, what do y'all think? Was it pretty evident to y'all, like pretty much right off, that this was probably going to be the case? Or did it take you seeing Erica like acting all crazy in the fucking gold suit? Is that what it took to make you think, oh man, these people ain't right? All it took for me was to see the political posturing. As soon as I saw the political posturing about the furry trans people, I knew it then. I said, bro, this is a whole thing here. Yeah. Boomer balls. I did. Yes. Yeah. So it's, it just makes you wonder, man, like Erica Kirk, Like, dude, man, and at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, you also have to consider this, right? You also have to consider this is that the people who are really, really, really ultimately behind it, the people are probably pretty violent and like, you don't know if maybe they threatened her life. And I'm not trying to make excuses for her, but like she might have been under threat. But I don't think that because if she was under that kind of threat, she definitely wouldn't be acting the way she is, at least in my mind, anyways, right? At least in my mind, anyways. Let's see. Boomerball says the shot seemed weird. Yeah, it really did. It really did, especially when looking at John Bray when they like slowed it up and I saw the puff and then that appeared. I said, I still don't know exactly what that was, but I said, I know that ain't a 30-06. And just the drive to drive that narrative was just so sketch to me. Y'all, it really was super sketch. Here goes a lizard. You sensed it when I saw his wife, as didn't know her, and that dude making a selfie video. Charlie's dead. Yeah, dude. Oh, God save him, man. Oh, bro. Gerald Farnsworth, bro. That dude's a character, huh? He out there cutting up. Miss Lissette, I love you, Lissette. I hope you're doing good, love. I felt it from Erica's memorial speech, and I started doing my own research. I hardly knew who Charlie Kirk was before he died. That's me, too. I didn't either. And, I probably wouldn't have been a big fan of Charlie Kirk when he was alive, but, again, it's his spirit and his legacy in my mind is what I really honor because at the end of the day, opinions are opinions, stances are stance, left, right, whatever. It's infinitely complex, right? But, I really look at the spirit of what he was doing. And I tend to think that he really did was that primary driver was doing that because I feel that. I've been that. And, it seems that he took it all the way. So, dude, he that's some OG stuff, right? From the streets. He died for the cause. Like, man. And I mean, I don't want to make it sound morbid or anything, but, it's like, dude, he was, man, God bless Charlie, man. His soul, man. God bless. Let's see. And when Tiny Ben rode in on his tiny horse, speaking about my time on the streets and stuff, I was out there. I was homeless for 2 years, living on the streets. I remember, I basically, I wasn't practicing law. I was just running the streets, but I was living at my dad's and it got so bad. He's like, you got to go. And so he literally dropped me off at Dope House. Big Shell, who didn't like anybody, but for some reason loved me and was like, you can sit on, you can sleep on back couch here. She said 10 o'clock, door shut. If, and then she pieced me up. She's like, hey, if anybody comes that back door, you do them off. So, that started a 2-year stint, homeless on the streets, living hand to mouth every day for 2 years. And so, yeah, I don't know why I went into that, so I said, sometimes I think about Ben Shapiro. And I just think what if Ben Shapiro would have ended up in a situation like that? That dude would have melted down, right? He wouldn't even be able to get close. He wouldn't have been able to get close, dude. He'd have been melted down. I think about that sometimes, just my twisted thoughts, I guess. Miss Debbie says, as soon as I saw it, I cried. I watched the guys and they seemed real suspicious. Now I want to find justice as well, but I'm afraid we won't. Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. And again, I think Barron's expressed this too. I'm too. Have I sat here and racked my brain on this? Like, what are possible outcomes? Like, which twists and turns could we expect? Like, who was actually really a dude? And it's like, even though we have a good firm ideas about pretty much what, we don't know the actual thing quite yet, I guess. And will we ever discover it? I don't know, man. I mean, this is just my opinion. I think as long as Trump's in office, nothing's going to get done truly about it. I just don't. Maybe later on it will. I hope Tyler Robinson gets off. But I think if he does, I don't think with the way that TPUSA and the president roll, I don't think we're going to see anything done about during his term. But I could be wrong. I hope I am wrong. Maybe he was involved. I don't know. Yeah, I guess we'll find out, huh? Damn. Man, that's cold blood. Isn't that cold blooded though? Dude, Charlie gave so much to that man. It breaks my heart, man. That does break my heart. You know, he looked up to him probably as a role model and stuff. I mean, and yeah, it's really sad. It is so sad. And now you get like Candace, she's like F political parties, all that. Yeah, I mean, I'm there with you, man. I got done by John Edwards back in 2006 when he was boning, messing around on his wife who had cancer. Like, that completely ruined me with politics. I said, all these people rotten, dude. All these people rotten to the core. Yeah. Immediately, the narrative was controlled chaos from the start. The 33-hour statement at the last press conference was a confession from the powers that be. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that was also very suspicious too, man. Like calling the death penalty like immediately before they even knew that I did it. Like, what? Yeah, it was all crazy, man. It was all really, really crazy. It still is, right? Still is. Oh, and that's another thing too. I told y'all I will start going back over these Brian Enton videos that I had collected, because man, I went back and reviewed, and he been out there doing kind of bad with Tyler Robinson. So we're gonna cover that too. So anyways, let me think, man. I think I'll probably shut it down. We're an hour and 15 minutes. I need to eat and get prepared for my presentation tomorrow. Obviously, if y'all want to come, just let me know in the comments, and I'll drop a link to the sign-up sheet. It's going to be on the Fourth Amendment and traveling with religious sacrament. And then I'll be busy after that. But I'm going to also get a hold of Adam here in a minute and see what he's doing. And I very well might pop up on a live stream with him later this evening, if he is able, and I'm still got the energy and stuff going, at least for a little bit. So, yeah, man. Look, I love y'all. Thank y'all for being here. I will I'll let y'all know just as quick as possible when I'm coming on live stream again. And I make a promise to you, I will present on the attorney appointment this week. But I am going to put some time into it, considering I've got litigation schedule going now. So we're going to take a couple days to like put some time into it and really put it together good. And yeah, we'll do that. And I'll also do a makeup members live stream this week sometime to check in. But yeah, y'all, if y'all don't mind, if you feel called, go subscribe to Entheo SK. I'll be doing stuff over there. Y'all be able to get more personal with me over there. And I'll just keep this over here like Charlie Kirk for now. And maybe with Charlie Kirk's done, maybe we move on to something on this channel. But there's just so much going on all the way through this trial that, what else are you going to cover on that channel? So anyways, God bless y'all. I love y'all. I will let you know here shortly when I will be back. Much love.